Welcome to how to replace a door handle on a Ford Explorer. This is a 2002 Ford Explorer, but it will work on many other years and models. What happens is the door handle feels like it's locked, even though you've checked to make sure it's unlocked and the child lock is not engaged. Most likely what has happened here is the door handle itself has failed. You can notice here when you pull the handle, the actuator arm does not move. And the reason for this is there's some plastic teeth right here by my finger that have broken off and they're not engaging. Here's a new handle, and as you can see when you pull the handle, the little arm does move, and you can see there's some teeth that haven't broken off. You'll start out by removing the two screws behind the door handle pull. They are not covered by anything. They're very easy to see and access. Once you remove the top two screws, next you're going to remove the one screw on the bottom of the door panel. It's a little bit harder to see, but it's readily accessible. Now you're going to insert a plastic putty knife between the door panel and the door, and you'll slide the knife over until you feel it stop. Then you'll pry outward and the door panel will pop off. Once the door panel is hanging loosely, you remove the door handle trim by just pulling outward and removing it. Then you'll carefully lift up on the panel and remove it. Be careful because there are some electrical connections hooked to them. Next you're going to push in the clip and remove the wire connector for the electric window switch. Once that's done, you're going to remove the foam from around the door handle. It's just placed around the door handle. It has no adhesive hook to it. In this case, there should be two screws holding the door handle in place, but obviously someone has tried to make this fix before. You're going to pry up on the tabs that are in the front, located by the arrows, and while you pry down on the top one and up on the bottom one, you're going to pull the handle towards the door hinge, and it will pop out. This may require a little bit of force, but don't worry, your door handle is broken anyways. Next, you're going to rotate the door handle front downward and turn it off of the rod. And yes, if I look carefully, the teeth are broken on this door handle, so we're on the right track. You're going to peel the door gasket back so you can access the opening rod. Then you're going to close the latch with a screwdriver and push towards the back of the door with the latch. The latch should open easily. If the latch is sticky, you're going to lube it up with some lube, and then you're going to work that close the latch and work it with the rod. After doing this a few times, it will loosen up and it will actuate easily. Once you have the door latch working smoothly, it's time to start reassembling everything. With the front of the door handle pointing down, and here I'm starting with it backwards. So with the front of the door handle pointing down, you put the rod through the hole and then carefully rotate it downward. You'll put the door handle into the opening, positioned slightly forward. And then with some pressure pushing back on the door handle, you'll push it until the tabs snap into place. This does require a little gentle persuasion, so keep working at it. Make sure the tabs are fully engaged. At this point, your door handle is in pretty securely, and now it's time to try your new latch. If your door latch does not open easily, it's probably because your rod has been bent. So you can straighten the rod out slightly and then try it again. Now you should reinstall your foam around the door handle. Make sure you do this, otherwise you'll get a little bit of a rattle from your door panel, and you will not want to rattle. So now you'll install the two screws that were in the door handle. I had to find some screws laying around the garage in order to put them in. Next, you're going to put the gasket back in place. Now, if the adhesive doesn't hold it in place, which is a good possibility, you'll want to add some tape to hold that gasket in place. Now it's time to reinstall the door panel. You'll plug in your connector for your electric windows. Make sure you push it in further enough so it actually clicks and you'll hear an audible click. You'll slide the door panel down over the door lock pin and hook the door panel in the groove at the top of the door right by the window. Make sure it's firmly pushed down in place. you're going to make sure the pins on the back of the panel are lined up with the holes in the door. Once you've assured that, you can pop the pins into the holes with a tap from the palm of your hand. Tap all the way around to make sure all of the pins are pushed in and the door panel is snug against your door. Now you're going to install the screw on the bottom of the panel. Once that's in place, you're going to install the 2 screws behind the door pull. Make sure not to overly tighten any of these 3 screws. If you strip them out, then the door panel will be loose all the time and rattle a lot. So the next thing we're going to do is install the door handle trim, and it just simply slides under the door handle and pops into place. Once the door handle trim is in place, you can step back and admire your work because you are done. Now it's time to get inside the car and test it. Make sure you roll the window down so you're not locked in the car permanently. And here you can see the door opens up smoothly. Hey, congratulations, success. And I'd like to thank you for joining me on the video of how to replace a door handle on a Ford Explorer. Thank you. Goodbye.